everyone, it's your friend Thinknoodles, and welcome back to Ask Think for November 2016. How are you guys doing today? It has gotten cold here, but then it warmed up, and now it's cold again. No idea what the weather's doing, but I have a feeling this is going to be a pretty brutal winter, at least here in New York. So let's get to the question that I asked you guys in the last episode, and it was, what was the first song you remember memorizing the lyrics to? And Lily Gleason started with, and this one I totally believe, because probably when I had to think about it, this was the same for me. The first song I memorized was probably the ABC song. If that doesn't count, it probably Call Me Maybe or Count on Me. So those weren't, but the ABC song probably was, and you know, well, you guys know A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then also, if you never really thought about this, and someone had to point this out to me, it was a long time ago, so I've known this for a long time, but it's the same tune as Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. See? Though you probably learned both, maybe? I don't know. But anyway, Abby Clarkson said, for the question of the month, the first song I remember learning is You Are My Sunshine, or Hey Jude, or maybe Three Little Birds. I don't know. I heard a lot of songs in my childhood, and you know, You Are My Sunshine, I can see that being one. It's sort of a nursery rhyme, I guess. But Hey Jude is a Beatles song, which I was really impressed with. David Wiedner says, it's Ice Ice Baby, the first song I maybe remembered. And that was completely unexpected, and I kind of memorized that one too. All right, stop, collaborate, and listen. Ice is back with my brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly. All right, I'll stop. Kia Chulov said, the first song I remember learning the lyrics to was Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On. I was about 5 years old and obsessed with Titanic. All right, time to come clean. You know, when that was in theaters, I was rather obsessed with it myself, and I probably watched it like 4 times in the theater. I know, I don't know why. It's one of the only movies I've ever done that with, but for some reason, that movie hooked me. Fahrenheit Gaming said Bon Jovi, It's My Life. Aryan Kumar says, mine was the saddest song ever, and believe me, you were not the only one. There were quite a few of these. Baby, 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 oh. And Olivia Rocco was one of those people who said the first song I remember learning the words to was Justin Bieber's Baby. I was just a kid when it was released. Yeah, I'm still a kid now. I remember it because every day I would come home from school and I would go on the family shared box looking computer and search up the lyrics to Baby because everybody was listening to it back then. I started playing the lyrics singing along in my cringy voice. And at the end of the song, I showed a picture of Justin's face, and I kissed the computer screen. It's still an embarrassing yet funny memory that I think of once in a while. Brass Baked Beans that says, I remember the words to Power Rangers. Go, go, Power Rangers. LOL Turbs says, for the month of November, the first song I remember and the lyrics to it is Jason Mraz's I'm Yours. I actually had to search the name of it because I never knew the song name in my whole life. That's funny, he knew the words to the song, but didn't actually know the title of the song. Elena Morris says, the first song I remember learning is Dynamite by Tayo Cruz, because I always heard it on the radio and we sang it in choir in kindergarten, and a lot of people chose this one as well. Bob Loves Cheese says, hey, the first song I ever memorized was Fallen Kingdom by Captain Sparkles, and to prove it, I will sing it to you. I used to rule the world. Chunks would load when I gave the word. I can't. Okay. Yeah. You guys have heard enough as well. Anna TGO, the Golden Oslet, says, personally, the first song I actually remember learning the words to was Thank Sia's song Never Let You Go, a parody song of Let Her Go, but in Minecraft, which I thought was so interesting that multiple people had learned the lyrics to YouTuber songs. I loved that. Exoskelebot offline says the first song I learned was, and I don't think this counts, is the Itsy Bitsy Spider, and yes, it absolutely does. And then they modified it a little bit. The Itsy Bitsy Spider went up the noodle bowl, down came the noodles and wobbled the spider off. Up came the chopsticks and carried the noodles away, and the Itsy Bitsy Spider went up the bowl again. That's not the way I learned it. Okay, guys, so for next month's question, it comes to us from Twisted Redstone, and it asks, if you could make your own mod pack, what mods would you include? You wouldn't have to make them. I'm just saying, what mods would you include, and what would be the theme and the name? So name it, give a theme, and some of the mods that you would include. Now, before we get to the questions for me, I want to remind you to leave your question in the comments below so I can have something to answer in the next episode. Remember, only one question per comment, but go ahead and leave as many comments as you like. Also, if the comments on this episode of Ask, Think, or Close, go to the most recent and ask your question there. Now, on to the questions, and the first one comes to us from Nolt Becky 127, and it says, hey, Think, what's your favorite track from the Undertale soundtrack? Mine is Hopes and Dreams. Me too, and you know what? I'm going to put it on right now. There we go. All right, so Kia Julov says, when you're searching for questions for Ask Think, do you take them solely off the previous Ask Think video, the most recent one? Yes, I do. I don't really get them off of Twitter or any other places. It's always off of the most recent Ask Think, which is why I close the comments on all of them, if I remember to, and that's why I always tell you to leave them on the most recent Ask Think. Cosmic Does Stuff asks a bunch of questions, but the one that I wanted to answer in this is, how close are you to Dan and James? And Dan and James and I are really close friends, but in a virtual sense. And I've never actually met James in real life. I've only ever met Dan twice in real life. And we're close friends, like almost best friends, and we have spent probably a total of 20 minutes together in real life. It's crazy, but we are all three really close. Shriya Azuchi asks, have you ever tried Indian food? If so, do you like it? Yes. My wife and I both love Indian food. But the funny thing is, and we just had it last week, and we always order the same, not always the same thing, but similar things. And, you know, you can order the exact same thing, well, at least in New York, maybe at a more reputable Indian restaurant, it's more on par, but one day you'll order it and it won't be that spicy, and the next day you order the same thing, it's really spicy, and you know, there's no like there's no rhyme or reason. You kind of just dive in and see what you get. Akshay V asks, Think, did you play any sports growing up? Yes, I did. I played basketball and baseball, and I was terrible at both. I as you guys know from I Draw My Life, I was a lot smaller than most kids. So, of course, in basketball, I was pretty terrible because I was way shorter than everyone else. And then in baseball, I was just really scrawny and small, so I didn't have much power when it came to batting. Although, I was good on defense. I played left field, and if you hit a ball anywhere in my vicinity, I was catching that. But as far as offense, I was not good. I was a slow base runner. Yeah. Ben Lamsma asks, Think, have you ever put a camera on Kopi's back and recorded it so you can see what she does while you're away? No. We have put a camera on Kopi's back when she was swimming in Grand Cayman, and if you want to see that, check my wife's channel. Put a link in the description. But as far as when she's gone and we're like out to dinner, we have taken our laptop. There was an app that I paid $1.99 for that you would install a program on your computer that would use your computer's webcam, and then you can monitor it from your phone. So I was like, oh, this is cool. Let's try it. So we tried it, and we set it up so that we could see like the whole apartment, right? And shut the door, and then watched Kopi. She stood at the door for about, 15 seconds, then laid down. I was like, okay, cool. So we went to dinner, and then while we were at dinner, I checked it, and I was like, oh, the camera's broken. She's still in that spot that, in the exact same position. This thing doesn't work. And then so I checked it again right before we left. I was like, this thing is, well, you only paid $2 for it. Of course it doesn't work. And then we got to the building and I got on the floor. I was like, I checked it one more time when we were on the elevator. I'm like, and I still had it up. And then I went over and I started putting the key in the door, and I could see her move and get up, which means for like, I think we were gone about 3 hours. She didn't move a muscle. So putting a camera on Kopi when we're gone is pretty much the most boring thing ever. Panda Noodleman asks, how much is the rent in New York? Because I'm planning to move there when I'm 18. It is extremely expensive. Obviously it depends on what part of New York you live in. If you live in Manhattan, it is a lot more expensive than Brooklyn or Queens. But even Brooklyn's expensive by measuring it or by averaging it compared to the rest of the country. Even Brooklyn, even Queens are expensive. But it depends on what area you want to live in. But if you want a 1-bedroom apartment in Manhattan, you're looking at probably a minimum of $4,000 a month for a 1-bedroom, a nice 1-bedroom. Of course, if you don't need an elevator, you don't need a doorman, you might split it with people. You could probably get a 1-bedroom down to about $3,000 a month, but not much below that. Toasted Cheese asks, have you ever had a goldfish? Because every single person in my class has a weird story about their goldfishes. Now, I assume you don't mean the Pepperidge Farm ones. I assume you mean the pet or the animal. So when I was in college, should I tell this story? All right. So when I was in college, my roommate and I had a fish tank. Actually, he had a fish tank. And he had read, he wanted to get some cool fish, but he had been told that you have to sort of like season the fish tank with goldfish to sort of like get the right bacteria in. And, bacteria isn't only a bad thing, but I think that in this case, you needed that to support more exotic fish. This is fresh water, of course. So we had a bunch of goldfish. And the thing about goldfish, I think we had a dozen, no, maybe more, maybe 2 dozen. Little ones, not big ones, but little ones. And he had them in there for like a month. And they made the water so dirty. It was disgusting. Like they poop everywhere. And yes, he had filters. And one day he got bored of it. And he's like, man, I was expecting to have like one fish tank. This is boring. And I was like, well, what do you want to do? You got all these goldfish. And he's like, I have no idea, but I want to get other fish. And I was like, well, okay. He's like, but these things make the water so dirty. I couldn't even see my other fish. So what am I don't want to just, throw them away. They're fish. And I made the suggestion is, well, why don't we see if we can get you a new fish that can eat them? He's like, hey, that's a good idea. So we started calling around to pet stores asking if they sold any fish that would eat goldfish. And we settled on an Oscar named Oscar. And we brought him home and put him in the fish tank. And Oscar ate every single goldfish within about 20 minutes. And then about 2 hours later, Oscar died. So what happened was he had a bunch of goldfish. He bought another fish to eat the goldfish, and then it killed all the goldfish, and then it died itself. It was a sad day in the history of fish for Oscar. Abi Ahmad Kavindra Handika asks, hey, did you quit college or pass college? I got my undergraduate degree, and I went to business school and got my master's. Yoda Mikey 45 asked, did you ever run away? No, I did not. Neither me nor my sister ran away when we were kids, but we did have friends that did. TerraCraft MC asks, will you go to another Minecon? You know what? That really depends on one, where it is, and two, what Mojang or Microsoft's policy on YouTubers is. At the most recent one, there were no meet and greets, and anyone who was a popular YouTuber was kind of required to stay behind the scenes and out of the crowds so that they wouldn't cause any fire code violations or security problems with people crowding them. So this year, if I had gone to Minecon, what would have happened is I would have been just sort of locked back in the green room, come out for a panel, and then gone back and never have been able to meet any of you guys, which is totally and 100% the point of going to Minecon for me. Saeed Jabber asks, did you ever watch the video Pen, Pineapple, Apple, Pen? Because if you didn't, then you should ASAP. No, I haven't, but I'm about to. All right, let's do this. All right, I've heard a lot about this, but I don't know what it's about. I saw it on... Oh, that... Okay. That's the whole thing? Seriously? That? I was expecting... you know what? I was expecting a lot more out of that. But I do like the... Oh my goodness. What was that? Eric Stagner asks, are you going to get, or do you have a copy of Dan's new book? Yes, I do, and I have read it as well. Packgrass asks, think I found you from Pop Tropica walkthroughs. Do you think, get it, think, but do you think Pop Tropica is slowly dying? Well, you know, they are becoming irrelevant because they haven't come out with any new content in approximately a year. Now, I did have a call with their management team about a couple of weeks ago. I can't talk about it much because I had to sign an NDA to speak with them about the plans that they have. But I will tell you, they do have plans for Pop Tropica, and they will be coming out with new islands. It's just going to be a little while longer, and hopefully it will revitalize Pop Tropica because I love Pop Tropica. Mplosive asks, can you play Minecraft PE? I know you played in the past, but it's had more updates. If you're going to play when the new update comes out. Well, the new update did come out, and I played it a little bit streaming, but let me ask, because I don't know the answer to this. Does the Windows 10 edition keep parity with Minecraft PE? So that if Minecraft PE goes to 0.16, does the Win 10 version go to that? And would you consider me playing Win 10 version as playing PE? Because I am so bad at the on-screen controls. Jayton Ratawa asks, can you say your Crazy Craft video schedule? I love the series. Don't want to marry them all. Well, usually it's Wednesdays and Saturdays, but sometimes I move the middle of the week one. It's almost always on Saturday, but sometimes the middle of the week one could be Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, but usually on Wednesdays. Epic asks, what happened to the outro animation at the end of videos? You, Dan, and James all stopped doing. That's because of the new outro cards that can be featured on the videos. My previous outro card was centered around the little eye cards thing instead of the on-screen things that come on the end of the video. So right now I don't have an outro picture or animation that works with these new functionality end card annotation things. But I am talking to someone about making an animated version of like me and Kopi in Minecraft to sort of interact with those. So one will be coming back. Dragon Master Bry asks, hey Think, I was wondering what you use to record Minecraft. When I use OBS, it lags out my Minecraft, the video is ruined. Well, you know, funny you should mention that, because if you watch way back in Crazy Craft, I think episode 4, when I brought Dan and James in, I was recording with my new PC with shaders and using OBS, and I didn't know what I was doing. And if you recall, the audio and the video were, well, I don't know about the audio, but the video was lagging unbelievably. Like, it was stuttering like crazy. That was because of OBS, and I still don't know how to use it. What I do is I feed my video footage from my PC through an Elgato into my Mac, and my Mac captures from the Elgato. Three Bears asks, I recently watched one of your Pokemon Go videos and noticed you named one of your Snorlaxes Caesar. Did I miss something, or is there a backstory to it? Good eyes. I don't think I ever really said why, but the reason is if I scroll down to the bottom of my Snorlax, it says I got it because I got it out of an egg that I got in Rome. And I figured since he's awesome, he's like 97% IVs, he's got a pretty good moveset as well. I would call him like Caesar, as in, one of the rulers of Rome, because I got him in Rome. Glenn Prine says, Justin, when you do Fan Choice Friday, can you make some of them into a series if you like them? But you don't have to do it on Friday, just do it in the week. Like when I scroll down the comment on your tabs video, so many people wanted to make it into a series. That's one of the games I would like you to make into a series. It's just a suggestion I noodle on. So, I've done that with a few of things. I think Pokemon Break Bronze was one. But I was thinking, okay, because like with tabs, right, I wouldn't want to make it necessarily a series, but maybe play it a couple more times, which I have. But I was thinking, well, let's see what you guys think of this. So instead of making Fan Choice Friday every single week, how about so each month, the last Friday of the month, make it Fan Choice Favorite. So let's say there's 4 Fridays, because sometimes there's 5 Fridays in a month, but most of the time there's 4, right? So 4 Fridays in the month. The first 3 will be new games, and then the 4th one, I would have a Fan Choice Favorite that I would have maybe in the 3rd video, I would ask you guys to vote on a poll for what would be the next week for Fan Choice Favorites, and I would give you guys a choice of 8 videos or 8 games that I would play again from previous Fan Choice Friday. I don't know. What do you guys think of that? Waffle Dog asks, "Hey Think, how do you make cinematic scenes in Think Lab?" Well, what I used to do was, and this is another one of the reasons that I don't make Things Lab is because I used a couple of camera mods to do it. Mostly Cam Studio to make the swooping cinematics. But those mods don't exist in 1.8, 1.9, 1.10, or 1.11, just in 1.7.10. And Cam Studio does, but it doesn't actually work well, not in that manner. Anyway, but so I know that Pixel Cam is available in 1.8, but the problem with Pixel Cam is that it is so much more complicated than I need it to be for what I want to do, that it would just really, really make creating the Things Lab cinematics even more difficult. Randy Christensen asks, "How do you name your cats and dogs on your Noodle Planet?" Well, see, I don't know if you're playing on a console edition, and I don't know if it's even possible on console, but what I use are name tags, and you can get those fishing or find them in dungeons, and then you take the name tag, put it into an anvil, then name it, then use the name tag, right-click on your dog or your cat. Luke Allen asks, "What do you do after you outro a video? Do you take a sigh of relief, go straight to editing, or do you do something else?" It depends. Generally, I go straight to editing or record another one right away if I need another one for that day. Or if it's at the end of the day and it's something I've recorded for tomorrow, I go and take Kopi for a walk. The Mimicking Pikachu says, "Hey Think, will you be doing a playthrough of Pokemon Sun and Moon?" If you don't know, there's a recording device on a capture card, which normally costs around $20. Yes, I will be doing a playthrough of Pokemon Sun and Moon. In fact, I just went to GameStop yesterday and pre-ordered it because I realized that my Amazon pre-order is not going to come until nighttime. So I went and got that, and I got the Z-Ring bracelet thingy and all that stuff. So I will be, yes. There's only one thing. The recording device is actually inside the 3DS, and you have to have it installed by someone, and it costs a lot more than $20. So those of you guys who are looking for a capture card, they're really, really, really expensive on a 3DS. And I wouldn't recommend you look for one unless you are really, really serious about it, because I think it probably triple the cost of a 3DS. Raj Shah asks, "Think I love your thumbnails from the last 2 days from Minecraft videos. They are kind of animated looking. How did you make them?" Ooh, I have been struggling with those, but I use a program called Mineways that you can open up your world and then export it to an object file into Cinema 4D, and then I start placing lights and stuff and messing around and wasting a ton of time not knowing what I'm doing, and eventually something decent comes out. Thank you, though. StarCrafty562 says, "Think, what do you think about the education system? Does the periodic table and negative variables help at all in life?" Spoiler alert, it doesn't. Well, I don't know about all that. But so that actually makes me think of this shirt that I saw a couple of months ago. And if you... okay, I'll look and see if I can find it online. Because if I just say it, you probably won't get it. But so it had like a couple of equations on it. And if I didn't know like famous equations in math and I guess I don't know, physics and chemistry, yeah, I would not know what that shirt meant. And I walked by it and I was like, that has to mean something. So I started thinking about it while I was walking Kopi, and I was like, oh, I know what it means. So it was E over C squared, square root of -1, and then PB over NR. So post in the comments if you guys can guess what that is or what that means. It does mean something once you figure out what all those equations mean. All right, guys, that's it for this episode of Ask Think. Don't forget to leave your question in the comments below so I can have something to answer in the next episode. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and please do subscribe. I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching. And of course, new line.